Hey everyone, Joe at Small Home Off Grid Prepping here. So today we're going to talk about the new book that we're working on, and we're talking about Chapter 1. The book is Beginner's Guide to Small Home Off Grid Prepping. So in the first chapter here, what we talk about is land, okay, choosing your land, getting a survey done on the land. So when you're choosing your land, it doesn't matter if you're in Florida or wherever you're at, there's a lot of questions that you guys are going to have. And like I said in the last video, I hope you guys seen this, but if not, the book is going to be coming out at no charge to our subscribers, okay? And it's going to be in text form. It's going to be chapter by chapter by chapter. And again, we planned on doing 2 a week. I don't think that's going to happen now. We just don't have time to do that. We're still making our regular videos. The last one we just did here, which I just worked on a few minutes ago, that was covering shelter. We're still going to get into water. We're still going to get into fire, different things like that as well for that. But like I said, this one is actually on the new book that we have coming out. And again, as a subscriber, you guys will have access to the book chapter by chapter as it comes out, so you can actually read it. I can't cover that much in these videos. It would just be too long, and the video would go on for too long. But again, when you're choosing your land, there's a lot of things that you're going to want to know. Okay, if you're going to go off grid, you want to look into, before you purchase your land, all right, are you going in an area, because just because you're in a rural area doesn't mean they're going to allow you to park an RV there and go off the grid and, build yourself a small home. There's a lot of questions that you guys have when you are purchasing the land. Okay, first thing is there a restriction to what size house that you can build? There is some areas that, they have restrictions to what size house you can build. There's also areas that have restrictions as to whether you can actually go off grid and run solar or not. Water containment, a lot of people like to, put in, the water tanks and collect rainwater and stuff like that. But believe it or not, there is restrictions in different areas where you're not allowed to do that. It's actually against state laws. You might have to apply for a permit or water rights. There's a lot of different procedures that you have to go through. So these are a lot of the questions that you want to ask and you want to find out before you purchase your land. If you could put an RV on a land while you're building your home and live in your RV, are you going to need an RV permit? Okay. If you do need an RV permit, is it only good for a certain amount of time, and then what happens after that time runs out? Here in Florida, you do need an RV permit, okay? And the RV permit, and it's not in every area of Florida, it's in certain areas. In the area that we actually chose to live in, you can get an RV permit. You can park an RV on your land for up to 3 months per year, okay? So you can't just keep renewing it every 3 months. However, under state law, this might be local, but under state law, if you get one inspection on an active permit when you're building a house every 6 months, your permit will stay active, okay? And in the area we live in, as long as you have an active building permit, you can live in your RV on that land as long as you continue to pass your inspections and the permit stays active, which again, you have to pass one inspection every 6 months. That's it. So as far as buying your land goes, there's a lot of things you want to know. What kind of zoning are you in? Are you in a flood zone? You want to make sure that you're not purchasing land in a flood zone somewhere, and before you know it, you're going to end up with a big storm comes through and you're flooded that you didn't realize. So the book, again, will cover a lot more. I can't really get into detail about a lot of different things here because it would just simply take too long. Surveying is another thing, okay? You want to get a survey done on a property before you actually buy it. I don't know the details of it, but I do know, like, if somebody has used a portion of that land for a certain amount of time, say 20, 25 years, let's say they cut a road through. That portion of land is a shortcut to get through their property, and now people have used that road for 20, 25 years, well, it possibly could become grandfathered in, and that's no longer part of your land that you're buying. So you want to have a good survey done. You want to know exactly where your boundaries are on the land. You want to check, most likely the easiest way is to either work with a realtor who can answer your questions. You can contact the zoning, building and zoning and planning department. You can contact your building department. There's a lot of ways to get these questions answered, okay? But you're going to have to do a lot of homework. Again, we do cover well more in the book, so subscribe, hit the notifications, and we'll be releasing the chapters on the book as we go. But again, there is a lot of things that you want to know before you actually take that leap and jump into it and buy a piece of land. You don't want to buy a piece of land and then all of a sudden realize, oh, they won't let me do this. And I've seen it many times. I've seen somebody buy a piece of land here in Florida. They wanted to build container homes. Okay, and you go on YouTube, you see there's a lot of people building container homes and stuff like that as well. And certain areas of the country will allow that. Florida is not one of them. Florida's building products, when you're building a home, they have to be wind tested, they have to be approved. It doesn't matter if it's your roof shingles, it's your windows, it's your siding that you put on your house. These things have to go through testing. They have product approval numbers, and when you submit your permit, you're going to submit that product approval number. As an example, when you're putting your windows in, there's a product approval number that when they are the plans examiners doing your plans examining, they will type that in and they will verify that that is an active number and your windows did meet the wind testing. Okay, and a container home, a shed. You see people, they want to put sheds on property. Again, these are things that don't really work here in Florida. If you want to go off grid in here in Florida, you could build a small house. Where I live, there is no restrictions to what size house you build. You want to build a 50 square foot house. It makes no difference as long as you comply with Florida building code. Okay, and building a smaller home, that does make it a little bit different because it's kind of hard to comply with all the codes. In a big home, it's pretty easy. As example, if you want to put a ceiling fan in, your ceiling fan has to be more than 5 feet from center away from your smoke detector. Okay, same thing with your AC return. It has to be a certain distance away from your smoke detector as well. So when you have a smaller home and a smaller ceiling, these are some of the things that are hard to comply with. But you could, here where we are, you could build a home any size you want as long as you comply with Florida building code. That is not the same though for every area. So when you're purchasing land, you want to know before you get into it, what can I do? Can I park my RV there while I'm building my home, taking my time, paying cash, so I don't have a mortgage? Am I going to spend 6 months living in the RV, get portioned through my house, and then all of a sudden somebody's showing up saying, hey, you can't live here in your RV, it's against zoning, it's against regulations. So a lot of things that you need to know. Again, read the chapters, the book that we have. We get way more into detail than what I'm covering right now for you guys. But like I said, getting into your land, you want surveys done. You want to know, are you in a flood zone? You want to know what you can do on that land. There's just a whole list of things, and again, in my book, you see it's way more. I give you guys a lot more ideas, a lot more things that you guys need to look into. So like I said, this is the first video that's going to be coming out. The book is more in detail. We're not spending a lot of time on these videos here. They're just kind of little short videos. Again, subscribe, and to our subscribers, you will have access to the book itself as well at no charge. Eventually, the book will be going on Audible, will be for sale, and it will be coming out in different areas, different publications, and stuff like that as well. But that will not be until we have all 17 chapters completed. So, like I said, this is the first one. This is on choosing your land, having a survey done on your land. The next one will be coming out, I believe that one is designing your home, working with the architect, and then so forth. If you go to our website, which is in the bottom over here, we have a link in the bottom, you will see under process, it's showing you the different things that we are covering in our book. So, like I said, guys, this is the first one that we have coming out on land and surveying your land and things like that. Subscribe, hit the notification button, and you can read the text itself. So, guys, have a great day. We'll see you on the next one.